Batman has had a long and legendary history on the big screen, but no version hit quite as hard as Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Trilogy. These films redefined what superhero movies could be: gritty, grounded, and emotionally powerful. While earlier Batman movies had their own charm, Nolan's vision raised the bar in nearly every way. Here are 10 reasons why The Dark Knight Trilogy stands above the rest. Number 1. One of the biggest differences Nolan brought to Batman was how he portrayed Gotham City. In earlier films, Gotham often looked like a comic book come to life. Quirky, stylized, and sometimes cartoonish. Tim Burton's Gothic cityscapes were imaginative, and Joel Schumacher's neon-lit Gotham had its charm, but Nolan grounded Gotham in a gritty realism. It looked and felt like a real city, inspired by Chicago and New York. You could imagine walking those streets. That realism raised the stakes, making the crime and corruption hit harder. Gotham became more than just a setting, it became a character in itself. Number 2. Despite its grounded tone, the trilogy didn't skimp on tech. In fact, Nolan's version of Batman may have had the coolest gadgets we've ever seen. From the tank-like tumbler to the high-tech Batpod, and even the EMP rifle and sonar vision in The Dark Knight, everything had a sense of function and realism. Lucius Fox became the cue to Bruce Wayne's James Bond, making Batman's tech seem like something that could exist in our world. It was a perfect blend of science fiction and military hardware that earlier films never really explored in depth. Number 3. No Batman film before or since has matched the intensity of Heath Ledger's Joker. Chaotic, terrifying, and oddly captivating, his performance won an Oscar for a reason. But he wasn't alone. Liam Neeson's Ra's al Ghul was calm yet chilling. Cillian Murphy's Scarecrow was creepy and psychologically twisted. And Tom Hardy's Bane brought raw physicality and a sense of order through fear. These villains weren't just enemies, they were mirrors, each testing Bruce Wayne in different ways. Compared to earlier over-the-top portrayals like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze or Jim Carrey's Riddler, Nolan's villains were in a league of their own. Number 4. Michael Caine's portrayal of Alfred Pennyworth remains unmatched. He wasn't just a butler, he was Bruce Wayne's moral compass, father figure, and most loyal friend. He delivered wisdom, heartbreak, and even a few laughs, grounding the trilogy with emotional depth. His relationship with Bruce had real layers, from fierce loyalty to heartbreaking disagreements. Earlier Alfreds, like Michael Gough, were charming, but Caine brought soul to the role. His final scenes in The Dark Knight Rises still hit hard for fans. Number 5. While earlier Batman films, especially those from the 90s, leaned heavily into campy, over-the-top moments, Nolan took the opposite route. His trilogy felt like crime thrillers that just happened to include a man in a bat suit. That grounded approach worked wonders. Gone were the bat nipples and ice puns. In their place were political themes, moral dilemmas, and psychological battles. Nolan knew when to be serious and when to let the story breathe. It wasn't humorless, it just treated the source material with the respect it deserved. Number 6. From flipping an 18-wheeler in The Dark Knight to the opening mid-air plane hijack in The Dark Knight Rises, Nolan brought scale and intensity to Batman like never before. These weren't just CGI spectacles, they were practical, choreographed, and impactful. Each film had a signature moment that made your jaw drop, and the tension during those scenes was real. Earlier Batman movies had fun action, but Nolan made every punch, explosion, and chase feel urgent and necessary to the plot. Number 7. Nolan didn't stick to the comics word for word, and that's okay. He reimagined key characters in ways that enhanced the story. Ra's al Ghul was no longer just an immortal villain, he was Bruce's mentor turned enemy. Lucius Fox became Batman's tech guru. Even the idea of Harvey Dent's downfall was made more tragic and personal. Not every change was a hit, hello Robin twist, but overall, these tweaks made the trilogy feel fresh while still honoring its roots. Number 8. Let's be honest, some earlier Batman films felt like 2-hour toy ads. New suits, new vehicles, and neon-colored villains were more about merchandising than storytelling. Nolan flipped the script. His films sold toys, sure, but the focus was always on story, character, and theme. The Tumbler and Batpod looked cool because they served the plot, not just because they'd look great on a store shelf. The trilogy respected its audience and never pandered to kids alone. Number 9. Why so serious? You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Some men just want to watch the world burn. The Dark Knight Trilogy gave us lines that became part of pop culture. The writing was sharp, thoughtful, and quotable without being cheesy. Compare that to earlier films, where most of the dialogue was forgettable or straight-up cringe. Nolan's scripts blended philosophy with drama in a way that left a lasting impact. Number 10. Every Batman actor brings something unique, but Christian Bale's journey across 3 films gave us the fullest arc yet. He wasn't just a symbol, he was a man, flawed and evolving. We saw him go from angry young man, to heroic figure, to broken recluse, and finally to someone who could let go of his past. His Bruce Wayne was layered. His Batman was fierce. And despite the occasional gravelly voice, Bale's performance captured both the pain and purpose behind the mask like no one before him. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.